For all living organisms, they need the basic needs for their life, that is food, water, is it not, and oxygen. So all these are procured, that means they get through digestion, respiration, and from the environment they absorb the oxygen through respiration. From the food what they eat, it is digested through digestive system and the nutrients are absorbed and utilized. Okay, it is a separate system. Digestive system is a separate system. In that the nutrients are released. Then in case of respiratory system, the oxygen is released and carbon dioxide is collected. Now, how all these substances, that is the nutrients, what the body receives from the digestive system and the oxygen from the respiratory system and the water, all these, how they are transferred to the parts in which they are needed. From a particular place, how it is sent or received from another place. For this, a system helps in our body. That is the circulatory system, which helps in the transportation of substances. Okay, what system? Circulatory system. So, today we are going to study about the circulatory system. That system only helps in the transportation of substances throughout the body. Now, the energy or the food, the nutrients we get from the food, the oxygen from the respiratory system, everything is transported through the blood. And this blood is circulated throughout the body through a system called a circulatory system. We understand, which helps to transport all the substances? Blood. This blood is circulated throughout the body through a system called a circulatory system. Now let us see, what is this blood? Blood is a fluid. It is a fluid which contains different types of cells embedded in it. That means present in it. In the blood, different types of cells are present. Already in the cell structure, we studied about the different types of cells. I hope you remember. So, blood is a fluid. It is a connective tissue which circulates all the substances throughout the body, and it contains different types of cells embedded in it, that means present in it. So what are the types of cells present in the blood? First one is RBC, then WBC, third one blood platelets, then fourth one blood plasma, fourth one is the blood plasma. RBC is nothing but the red blood cells. It is also called as erythrocytes. What are they? Erythrocytes. And these contains a red color pigment called hemoglobin. It contains a red color pigment called the respiratory system combines with this hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin and it is circulated throughout the body. Is it okay? So in the blood different types of cells are embedded. That is RBC, WBC, blood platelets and blood plasma. And RBC is nothing but the otherwise called as erythrocytes and it contains a red color pigment called hemoglobin which gives the color to the blood and it has more affinity towards the oxygen and it combines with the oxygen which the body gets from the respiratory system and it is transported to all parts. So RBC only carries the oxygen to all parts of the body. Next, WBC. It is otherwise called as leukocytes. It is otherwise called as leukocytes. That is white blood cells. It is otherwise called as leukocytes and it only helps in fighting the germs against our body. It protects our body from the harmful germs. It doesn't allow the harmful germs or the bacteria or the microorganisms to enter into our body. It protects us. So WBC is nothing but the otherwise called as leukocytes which protects our body from the infections by various microorganisms by producing antibodies in our body. They help to produce antibodies which acts against the harmful germs. Next one is the blood platelets. Now, if you fall down, if you get a wound, sometimes you may have the bleed, that is the blood will come out. If the blood continuously flows, as it is a liquid in nature, if it continuously flows outside the body, what will happen? It will become dangerous. The life will become critical. Is it not? So, the blood has to be stopped. And that work is done by this blood platelets present in the blood. So blood platelets are the cells which makes the blood to become thickened. That means if you fall down, you will get the wound from that the blood oozes out. After some time, automatically if it is a small wound, from the cut of the wound, the blood will stop by forming a thickened substance. The blood will become solid in nature and it will plug the cut. It will stop the blood there because the fluid blood is converted into some solid substance, thickened substance. So that is done by this blood platelets. Or else the blood will continuously flow out of the body and the life will become critical. So the blood is stopped. It should be thickened and it should be stopped outside the body if any cut or wound happens. And this is done by the blood platelets. And the blood plasma is the liquid part of the blood in which all the present in our blood. Next one, there are blood vessels. Blood vessels are present in our body. Next, we are going to see about the blood vessels. The blood vessels are of two types, that is arteries and veins. One is arteries and the other is veins. These are the two types of blood vessels present in our body. And this artery is elastic and have thick wall. These two blood vessels, arteries and veins, are tubular in nature, through which the blood flows. As it is a liquid, the blood has to flow in a tube-like structure, and it is carried throughout the body through these two blood vessels, arteries and veins. In that, artery is elastic in nature and it has thick walls, and always it carries oxygen-rich blood. Always it carries oxygen-rich blood. So, the blood transports oxygen, nutrients, and also it removes waste from the body. In our body, so many wastes are produced which is not needed for our body, and it should be removed. Is it not? That work, it is done by this blood. So the blood collects the waste products or the waste materials from the body, and it eliminates the waste products. So all these are carried by the blood vessels, and the arteries always carry the oxygen-rich blood. So from the tissues or from the lungs, it collects the oxygen. It mixes up with the blood and it is carried through these arteries. Why these arteries have thick walls? It is having thick walls because the blood will flow with the force. A rapid flow will be there under pressure. It will move in a fast manner with force. That is why the arteries have thick walls, and it is located, its location, it is located deeply under the skin. It is not seen on the surface. It is located deeply under the skin. We cannot view the arteries. In this, one exception is there. That is pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. It carries the blood rich in carbon dioxide. All the arteries will carry only the oxygen-rich blood except one artery, that is the pulmonary artery. It carries only the deoxygenated blood, that is carbon dioxide-rich blood. It won't carry the oxygen. Next we shall see about the veins. And this artery will be seen in a red color. Next one is the veins. And veins are thin tubes. And it is located under the skin, near the surface, under the surface of the skin itself you can view. See, for example, in my hand itself you can see some of the blood vessels which will be in greenish blue color. The color will be greenish blue color. immediate energy. So instant energy they will put through the veins. Why they are putting that injection in the vein? That they will put the needle inside the vein, through which they will send medicines also, because it will directly mix up with the blood. Why they are doing so means because the veins only are located under the skin itself, near the surface of the skin itself it will be located. But arteries are deeply located, it will not be seen. But veins can be viewed. If you fold your hands you can see the bluish green color in many of your wrist or in your grandfather's, grandparents' hands and all. If you see it, it will be viewed clearly. So those are the veins, the thin tubes under the skin which is having the greenish blue color, and it carries carbon dioxide rich blood. Carbon dioxide rich blood. So arteries carry oxygen rich blood, but veins carry carbon dioxide rich blood, except one vein, that is pulmonary vein. There is one vein called pulmonary vein. It carries the oxygen rich blood. So in arteries, all the arteries carry oxygen rich blood, and all the veins will carry carbon dioxide rich blood, but except one. In pulmonary artery it carries carbon dioxide rich blood, and in pulmonary vein it carries oxygen rich blood. Are you clear? These are the differences between the blood vessels called arteries and veins. Arteries are thick-walled because the oxygen-rich blood flows under pressure rapidly. But veins are thin blood vessel which carries the carbon dioxide-rich blood, and it is located under the skin, near the surface of the skin itself. And arteries always carry oxygen-rich except one vein, artery called pulmonary artery, that carries the deoxygenated blood, that is carbon dioxide rich blood. In veins, only one vein called pulmonary vein carry oxygen rich blood. So these are the two types of blood vessels which transports the substances, which runs throughout the body and transport the substances. And these arteries, it will divide. See, if this is the main artery means, it will divide into so many branches. And these branches will further divide into many branches, into very thin tubes inside the tissues. And these are called capillaries. Very finely divided thin tubes of arteries are called as capillaries. And these capillaries again they unite to form the veins which will empty into the heart. Again these arteries they may unite. Drawing this side. For example, arteries are in what color I said? Red color. So if this is the artery and it divides into many branches, when it enters into the tissues of the cells, it will again finally divide into many tubes, thin tubes, and those parts are called as capillaries. And these capillaries again they will unite, they will fuse together or they will join, and they will form a tube called vein. And this is the vein. And this is artery. Clearly cells. They will finally divide into thin tubes and they will supply the oxygen-rich blood. And they will collect the waste from those tissues. So again, these capillaries, they unite together and they form the vein, which carries the waste through this vein. That is carbon dioxide-rich blood will be carried through this vein, and this will again empty into the lungs. This is the transportation between the blood vessels. So capillaries are network of thin tubes of blood vessels. Network of vessels. Are you clear up to this? Okay. Next. And now we shall see about the heart, structure of heart. Which is the main organ in the circulatory system. Heart is the main organ. It is made up of a special type of muscle called cardiac muscle. It is made up of a special type of muscle. Structure of heart. Heart is made up of a special type of muscle called cardiac muscle, and it works throughout the life. It contracts and relaxes throughout the life. It will never take rest because it pumps the blood all the time by contraction and relaxation. When it contracts, the blood will be pumped out. When it relaxes, the blood will enter into the heart. So by the pumping action of the heart, the blood is circulated throughout the body. And this contraction and relaxation is done by a special type of muscle which is made, with which the heart is made. The muscle is called cardiac muscle. During the contraction and relaxation of the heart, a sound will be produced, a throbbing sound. That sound is called as throbbing sound. Throbbing means nothing but a strong sound with a rhythmic movement. A strong sound can be heard with a rhythmic movement. The heart will always contract and relax rhythmically, that means at regular intervals. It will not get delayed or it will not speed up. At regular interval, the movement will be same. That is called rhythmic movement. With throbbing sound, that is strong sound with rhythmic movement. That is called heartbeat. What we are hearing is the heartbeat. So, how many times the heart beats in a minute is called heartbeat. In a normal person, the heartbeat will be 72 to 80 times per minute. The heartbeat will be 72 to 80 times per minute in a normal person. After doing the exercise or doing heavy work and all, the heartbeat may increase. Okay, but this heartbeat in a normal person will be ranging from 70 to 80 times per minute. That is the healthy person having. If you are not feeling sick, if you go to the doctor, first of all, what he will do? He will hold your hands while he is doing so. And this pulse rate can be found out at different places of the body. One is in the wrist. In the wrist you can find, and in neck region, and behind the knees. Behind the knees, and inside elbow, inside part of elbow. In these part and all, you can find this heartbeat. That means you can find the pulse. Why doctor is holding the hands to check the pulse? How can you check the pulse? You yourself can find the pulse in your body. You have to place the index finger and the middle finger in the wrist below this thumb.
Now children, let us see about the 3D model of the internal human structure. Now here can you see the human body without the outer covering. Now this is the rib cage, inside which the heart and the lungs are located in the chest cavity. Here, inside the rib cage, the lungs and the heart is present. Can you see the structure clearly? These two are the pair of lungs. This is the right lung which have 3 lobes, and this is the left lung which has the 2 lobes. In the middle of the lungs, the heart is located, which is slightly turning left side. Can you see the heart just tilting towards the left? From the heart, the blood vessels, the auricle and the blood vessels called the arteries and the veins are coming out of the heart, and it passes throughout the body. Can you see the blue and red color vessels here? Those are the blood vessels. From the shoulder, that is the nerve, and it will pass to all parts of the body. Now the blue color what you are seeing here is the vein, and the red color is the artery, which carries the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to all parts of the body. I think now you can clearly see the separate heart and the blood vessels coming out of the heart. This is the heart from which the blood vessels are coming out, and the blue color tube is nothing but the vein, which carries the carbon dioxide rich blood that is collecting from all parts of the body, and the red color is the artery, which carries the oxygen rich blood to all parts of the body. Now in this picture you can see how the blood vessels are spread throughout the body. It supplies the blood throughout the body. The main blood vessel, it is in the red color, that is the artery, and the blue color is the vein, and it divides into many branches called the blood capillaries. Can you see the fine branches of blood vessels passing throughout the body? This blood vessel divides into many branches and enters the tissues, which is called as the blood capillaries. They are the very minute tube-like structures. Now, here you can see the internal structure of the heart. How the blood vessels are arranged inside the heart. Generally, the heart has 4 chambers in human beings. Not only in human beings, all mammals, reptiles and aves. They have 4 chambers. The upper 2 chambers are called auricles and the lower 2 chambers are called ventricles. And this is the right side of the heart and this is the left side of the heart. The auricle and the ventricle are separated and connected through the wall called tricuspid wall on the right side. Can you see the opening here? Here only a flap with a wall with 3 flaps called tricuspid wall is present on the right side of the heart between the right auricle and the right ventricle. The upper chamber is called auricle and the lower chamber is called ventricle. In the same way, on the left side, the upper chamber is called left auricle and the lower chamber is called left ventricle, and those two are connected through a opening which is guarded by a wall that has 2 flaps called bicuspid wall. Here one you can see the opening alone, but a flap will be present that is called the wall, and it has 2 flaps and it is called bicuspid wall. It has the connection through this wall and which allow the flow of blood in only one direction. And the blood from all parts of the body that carries carbon dioxide enters here. Here is the superior vena cava through which the blood enters the right auricle. From the right auricle, here this is the inferior vena cava through which the blood also enters the right auricle. From the right auricle, the blood will flow into the right ventricle through the tricuspid wall. Here through this opening the blood will enter and it will move into the pulmonary artery. From here it will move into the pulmonary artery and the movement will be because of the contraction of the auricle and ventricle simultaneously. When the chambers contract, the blood will pass into the chambers and it will enter into the blood vessels and it will be sent out to the lungs. From the lower chamber, that is the right ventricle, the blood enters into the lungs through the pulmonary artery. In the same way, here you can see another 2 blood vessel which is in red color. It is the pulmonary vein through which the oxygenated blood, that is oxygen rich blood, enters the left ventricle and it enters into the left auricle through the bicuspid wall and through the blood vessel called aorta. This is the aorta through which the blood will send to all parts of the body. This is the pathway of the circulation of blood in the heart. Hope you all understand. The blood which is carbon dioxide rich content enters into the right auricle and enters into the right ventricle through the tricuspid wall and it is sent to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. And the oxygen rich blood enters the heart through the pulmonary vein and enters the left ventricle and enters into the left auricle through the bicuspid wall and it is sent to all parts of the body through the blood vessel called aorta. This is the internal pathway of the blood inside the heart.
Hope you all understand the 3D structure and the structure of the heart, the arteries and veins, how the capillaries are distributed throughout the body and the location of the heart. This is not anyhow, I will again repeat that. in the chest cavity, in between the lungs. It is slightly tilted towards the left side of the body. It is present in the center, slightly tilted towards the left. And what about the size of the heart? Do you know the size of your heart? You can know that. The size of the heart will be the size of your fist. Fist means what? The folded, after folding the size of the hand. That is, now you fold your hand when you punch your friends while fighting or for fun. You will give a punch. Is it not? And then what will you do? You will fold your fingers like this and you will give a punch. So at that time, after folding up to the wrist, what is the size of your fist? This is called fist. And what is the size of your fist? That will be the size of your heart. In your hands, for everyone, the size of their fist is the size of their heart. Okay. And already I said it is made of a cardiac muscle, special type of muscle called cardiac muscle. And now, the heart has 4 chambers. How many chambers does it have? It has 4 chambers. So, the heart has 4 chambers. And these 4 chambers are divided in the middle called septum. So like this it is divided. So the heart is divided into 4 chambers. 1, 2, 3, 4. The upper 2 chambers are called auricles. The upper 2 chambers are called as auricles. And the lower 2 chambers are called as ventricles. The upper 2 chambers in the 4 chambers, it is divided into 4 chambers. Upper 2 chambers are called auricles and the lower 2 chambers are called ventricles. And this is the right side of the heart and this is the left side of the heart. The right auricle and the right ventricle is separated. And the left auricle and the left ventricle is separated. And this right side and left side is separated through a thick muscular wall called septum. This is called septum. The wall, the muscular wall dividing the right and left side of the heart is called septum. And the right auricle and the right ventricle is connected through an opening and it is guarded by a wall called Tricuspid Wall. This wall is called Tricuspid Wall because this wall has 3 flaps. This wall has 3 flaps which allows the blood to flow in only one direction. Again, the blood cannot flow upwards, just it will enter downwards only. So how this is possible is because of the presence of this wall. It allows the blood to flow only in one direction. That is present in between the right auricle and the right ventricle. In the vena cava. This is the blood vessel called superior vena cava. And this is inferior vena cava. Through which the blood enters the heart. Through the superior vena cava, the blood is collected from the upper region of the body, and through inferior vena cava, the blood is collected from the lower part of the body, and it enters the right auricle. All the blood containing carbon dioxide enters the right auricle through the superior vena cava, and through the flap, that is that wall, what called tricuspid wall, present between the right auricle and right ventricle, allows the blood to enter into the right ventricle. From here, it moves, the circle moves, and it enters into the so from here it moves into the pulmonary artery, which carries the carbon dioxide rich blood to the lungs. So do you understand? The blood flows from the superior vena cava to inferior cava. The blood is collected and it is entering the heart through the superior vena cava into the right auricle. Then it enters the right ventricle through a wall called tricuspid wall. From there it enters into the pulmonary artery. It is carried through the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Next, there is another vein called pulmonary vein. Here, pulmonary veins are present. These two are pulmonary veins. Already I told you, except one vein and artery, all other arteries carry oxygen-rich blood, all the veins carry carbon dioxide-rich blood. So here these are the pulmonary veins. That is, it carries the oxygen-rich blood into the heart. It carries this oxygen-rich blood into the heart. That means it enters the left ventricle. From here, it moves through this bicuspid wall and it comes out into the aorta. That is nothing but the main artery which supplies the oxygen-rich blood to all parts of the body, and this is the aorta. This blood vessel is called as aorta. So from here, so can you see clearly? I think now you can see clearly. And it will supply to all parts. And this one is chambers and it is divided into auricles and ventricles. Upper two chambers are called auricles, the lower two chambers are called ventricles. And the right side of the heart is separated from the left side through a thick muscular wall called septum. Then only the oxygen rich blood and the carbon dioxide rich blood will not mix up with each other. And the carbon dioxide rich blood from all parts of the body is collected through the blood and it enters the heart into this through the superior vena cava and enters the right auricle and it enters the right ventricle through this tricuspid wall. And from there it enters into the pulmonary artery. This is pulmonary artery, which carries the carbon dioxide rich blood to the lungs for purification. Next, through this pulmonary artery, here what you are seeing, this blood vessel is the pulmonary vein, which carries the oxygen rich blood and enters the ventricle, that is left ventricle. From that it enters into the left auricle and it will be sent to all parts of the body through the main blood vessel called aorta. This is the aortic arc. That is the aorta, this is the main blood vessel which carries the oxygen rich blood to all parts of the body. Do you understand? This is the internal structure of the heart. So, the heart is located in the chest cavity, in the center and slightly tilted towards the left. And the size of the heart is the size of the fist of everyone. And coming to the internal structure of the heart, it is divided into 4 chambers. And the blood are collected through blood vessels. The 4 chambers are called as auricles and ventricles, left auricle, right ventricle, in the same way it is named. And the blood enters the right auricle through the superior vena cava and it is taken to the lungs through the pulmonary artery. Through the pulmonary vein, the oxygen rich blood enters and it is supplied to all parts through the blood vessel called aorta. So like this, the circulation of the blood takes place with the main organ called heart. It continuously pumps the blood throughout the life. It never stops. It won't take rest. This is possible because of the contraction and relaxation of the cardiac muscles. That contraction and relaxation of the muscles makes a sound which is called as the heartbeat, and it is also denoted as pulse rate. And in a normal person, the pulse rate is 72 to 80 times. And you yourself can check your pulse rate also. And the doctor will use an instrument to hear the heartbeat clearly to check whether our body functions normally or not. So these are the details about the structure of the heart. It is a part of the circulatory system. In the next class, we shall see about the excretory organ. Now we understand how it is collected, that carbon dioxide is collected and oxygen is supplied. In the next class, we will